and welcome to Creative Spreadsheet. This video is a demonstration of a program that collects production data and then analyses the results. So we'll open the program and you'll see when it first opens, the input form pops up in the sheet. Now, this input form can be separated from this program so that it can be entered by the operators direct on the production line, but here it's in this sheet so that it can be filled in by an administrator the following day. Now, because it's always filled in the following day, the date automatically defaults to the previous day. So today being the 1st of June, it's defaulted to the 31st of May. This particular company wanted to track not only the date, the operator, the product they were processing, the weight out, and the time, and then any delays that occurred during their shift, and their delays are categorized into 5 separate categories. So the operator is just a drop-down menu, similar for the product type, but we can also, if we start typing like this, it will filter out our options to just include those that contain the text that we're writing. Now you can tab between boxes quite easily in a logical manner. I'll just fill some of these in. The start and end time are written in the format hour, minute, with nothing in between, to enable you to enter data at speed. So as we click submit on this one, what will happen is it will create a new line in our table here with all the data we've just entered. Okay, now once it's been submitted, you'll notice that the operator and the date remain, but the product type, the weight, and in fact all the other cells have cleared, ready for the next input. Now, you can set whichever you want to remain in place and whichever to delete out. If you're just entering one day at a time, we can make it jump onto the next date once you've entered the first date, things like that. Anything to tailor it to make it easier for your input. On this one, the operator remained the same, but you can still change it if you wish to. We'll go for this one. Now, this particular program is set to run with shifts from 6 AM to 6 AM. So rather than the 31st of May being from midnight to midnight, it would be from 6 AM on the 31st of May to 6 AM on the 1st of June. So if you run shifts like that, we can deal with that. That's not a problem. If I submit this one, we can now close this form. If you want to enter more data, you can always open the form again by simply clicking there. But for now, we'll close it and I'll show you the data in the table. So most of this was what we've just input into the form, the date. The production time is the total time in that shift. This first one was 4 hours, so 240 minutes, but less the 25 delay time. So the actual process time is 215 minutes. And this one was 12 hours, so 720 minutes. No delays. We have the operators, the products, and the weight. Now these prices, when you set up the products, you can add a price as well, and so when it enters the product, it will look up the associated price and fill that in your table. In this particular sheet, we're showing costs and revenue, but if you don't want whoever's inputting this to see that data, we can hide that, or you can have it in a separate sheet. So on this one, we have the revenue, a cost per hour for processing the material, and then a calculated revenue and cost overall. Now we have all the data in there, but as a table like this, it's not a good way of analysing it. So what I've done is I've set up a few tabs with different things that we can do for you to look at, ways that we can customise it for you. So this one is just a monthly dashboard. We've got a summary by product. So you probably saw the products were all product something and then type something, but this is a summary just by the product itself. So all types of product one are in there. And we have graphs here linked to these tables, and over this side a summary by operator and a graph giving us the operator average output per hour. Now in here we can select a different month and it will instantly give us the new data, or we can also have the year to date if we want to look at everything so far. Now I've got another operator average one here. This one is by product, each individual product and each operator's production average for that product. Now if you have a look at one particular line, if I highlight this one, you'll see that the highest average is highlighted in green and the lowest in red. And this is done on each line for each product, and also an overall one at the top. Now you can use this to see areas that might need training or who's doing well in terms of bonuses and things. I've also set up some filters here, so if you generally look at something in particular, you can go to the filters and we can filter by specific things. So the ones I've set up, I've got average greater than 0, so for these ones where we've not actually processed anything, we can just filter those out simply by the click of a button. Or if we want to look at things in more detail, we might want to look at all product 4s, for example, so we can select that and that will filter us for all product 4s, or maybe we want all type 2 but for all products, and that will simply filter those for us, or we can unfilter again to give us the whole list. These can all be customized to filter for the specific things that you want to look at. Now our next tab is looking at the delays. If you remember, this particular company had 5 specific delay types, and this is just a more in-depth analysis of them. So here we can filter this by whatever date we want to, so the month of May there, and this one at the bottom is the year to date. On this particular one, it's a calendar year, January to December, but if your financial year is different to the calendar year, we can make this the total for your financial year, or maybe a quarter, half year, anything, whatever you specifically want to look at. We've also got a little filter on here, this one for the operators, so if we want to look at a specific operator, we can do that simply by changing the selection, or we can look at everything overall. And then our final tab here is just a summary by product. So we've got all the individual products here that have been processed in this is a week, but we can change this to whatever date we want. It just gives us the totals, the total revenue generated and the cost, giving us an overall profit. There's any non-production time and the cost associated with that, giving us an overall profit for the week. But again, we can change this for a month if we wish to, and it will just simply update, or just for a day if we wish. There we go. Now this data is great in this spreadsheet. You can have a look at it whenever you want, but maybe there are colleagues that need this information as well. So this program is set up to be able to email out certain data on a weekly or a monthly basis. Now on the weekly report that we've got set up, it's going to do this particular sheet, the delay sheet and the summary sheet for a week. And to trigger these reports, all we have to do is simply close the program. So we've entered all our data for the day, close the program, and it will ask us, do you want to run the weekly report? Now if you say no, that's fine. Next time you close it, it'll ask you again until you've run it, and then it'll roll the date forward by 7 days. So if we say yes, we want to run the report, what it'll do is it'll do a PDF version of both the delay and summary tab for that particular week. We'll click OK. It'll ask us for the monthly one as well, but I'll show you the email here. So this is the weekly one, and it's automatically generated the email and attached these PDFs, and that was the summary one and the delay one. There you can see, and we can simply send this now. You can get it to send automatically, or I prefer it just to produce the email but leave it unsent like this, and then you can add any text you want to explain anything in the reports before you send it off. I'll send that one, and then it'll also ask, do you want to run the report for May? So this is the monthly report, so we're now into June, so it's asking if we want to run the May report. So we'll say yes to that one, and again it's going to create some PDF reports for us and attach them to an email. So these reports are not ones that are seen in that spreadsheet, but these are just showing the summary. This one's revenue per hour by product for the month of the year, and it builds up as the year goes along. And the other one is similar, but this is just a total revenue by product. So it gives you a good analysis over time of what's happening. But again, these reports can be totally customized for you, for whatever you want to look at, whatever KPIs you're working towards. And again, you can either send it or type some text into it before you send it. But everything is generated automatically. Now these reports that you saw attached to those emails, they're here. They've also saved in this folder. So you've got a copy of them on your server somewhere, as well as those emails that have been sent out. So as with everything on this, it's totally customizable. You can add whatever details you want. You can record whatever details you want, and each section of the program can be viewed by either everyone or just specific people. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching.